Namaste everybody and welcome back. So today I'm joining you from my dining room table because we're going to talk about how to make your very own mug of cacao. I'm also going to break down the difference between ceremonial grade, which is what we'll work with today, versus cacao, which you might find as you're walking down your grocery store aisles, and also dive into a little sneak peek of what I do after I've made my cup. So if you're new here, I'm Stephanie. I'm a mom, I'm a yoga teacher, and I adore cacao. I love to bring her into ceremonial spaces as well as a support for self-care and your yoga practice. So let's dive right in. So cacao, ceremonial cacao versus cacao. What is it? Cacao. So ceremonial grade cacao is what I work with, and it grows in a specific region. So the birthplace of cacao is Guatemala, so that is what and where my cacao that I am making today comes from. So when you think about the food that you eat, fruits and vegetables, if it grows in the environment that it's meant to grow in without a lot of intervention to allow it to grow, you are getting a really good product. So you are getting the spirit of the soil, the spirit of the people that have for generations and generations have allowed this plant to grow and to thrive. So it has this very, very spiritual element to it, this energy to it. So you really want to make sure that you're looking at the region in which you are buying your cacao. And if you are getting cacao from Guatemala, you're getting some pretty good product. You're getting you're gonna have a really great experience. So cacao that you find in the stores, there is a lot with the health food boom right now. There is a lot of really wonderful health benefits to cacao. But you're not gonna get that experience of the heart-opening, expansive experience that you'll get when you sip ceremonial cacao. So there is a difference. You'll get a lot of nourishment, but oftentimes the process to bring that cacao that you find in the grocery stores it's often damaged. They heat it too much. It's a very delicate process when you make cacao, when you roast it, and you have to be really, really mindful. So even though it might be really healthy for you on a physical level, you're not really getting that spiritual connection that you might be looking for. So that's just a little bit of the difference. And I choose to work with ethically sourced cacao, so making sure that it's fair trade. And if you are buying cacao where they are working one-on-one with the farmers, it's just you're just getting that energetic exchange back and forth. It's just a whole experience. So that's a little bit of the difference. So let's jump in and let's make a cup. So you're gonna have your mug and you need your cacao. So I pre-chop my cacao. Mine comes in blocks. So you're just gonna wanna finely chop it into small chunks, whatever works for you. So there's mine. And for a daily dose, something that you wanna just sip throughout the day as a support for your self-care, you're gonna wanna do half an ounce to an ounce. So depending on where you are at in your journey, if you're newer, you're gonna wanna start a little slower, build your way up, or maybe you'll be perfectly comfortable at half an ounce. So I do an ounce of a cacao, and that is about 3 tablespoons. So I have it measured, so you're gonna do 1, and then 2. And I'm only doing 2 because I have been doing and working with cacao now for a couple years, and I just know what it looks like in my cup. I know what about an ounce looks like. So in my scoop and the way I chop up my cacao, it's about 2 tablespoons for me. So anywhere from 2 to 3 tablespoons will get you about an ounce. So if you have a scale, you can use that as well. So you're gonna wanna put your chopped cacao in your mug, and then you're gonna wanna have some fun. So you're gonna wanna add spices. Cacao is quite bitter to the tongue. There is no added sugar or dairy when it comes to cacao. So you're gonna wanna add all those beautiful elements. And this is really where you have the fun. So I'm gonna show you what my general recipe is and then touch a little bit on what you can do to add to enhance your cacao and give a really beautiful experience. So you're gonna wanna sweeten it. And you wanna use natural sweeteners. So natural maple syrup, honey, or agave. Any of those things would be beautiful. So I have maple syrup here. This is actually from my own yard and our maple trees. So this is to taste. Again, as you first are starting, you're gonna taste, add a little more, add a little less. I like to sweeten it up. Maple syrup tends to be a little sweeter than honey, so I'll just go a little light. You can always add more later. Good. All right. And lick the finger for good measure. Okay. So this is my general recipe, and oftentimes if you begin to work with me and we start that process, I keep it pretty simple. So cinnamon, this is all to taste. A little heavy on that if you like. Cayenne pepper. So cayenne pepper, that spiciness, when you think about chocolate and spice, really goes beautiful together, but cayenne, that spiciness is what's going to activate that heart-opening energy that cacao has. So this is, depending on how spicy you like it, you can go heavier. I just do a dash usually. I don't like it too spicy. All right, and then I like to use cardamom, all to taste. Some other things that you can add to your cacao is you really can have fun. You can use dried rose petals. I've done that before. You can use different types of teas, anything that really resonates, hibiscus. You just want to make sure it's caffeine-free tea. Caffeine and cacao don't really go very well together. And one of my favorite recipes that I like to do for nourishment is to use a dandelion root tea. Steep that for a little bit in hot water before I make it, and also add in coconut oil. So this is really, really nourishing and great for the wintertime, which that's where we're at right now. But those are just some things that you can do to have a little bit of fun and really, really bring the experience that you're looking for to your mug. And now we got to add our hot water. So I have hot water here in my tea. You want to make sure that you want to use not too hot of water, so just water just to boil. You don't want it a rapid boil. It's going to be too hot. It'll scorch the cacao and really ruin a lot of the beautiful elements that it holds. So this is about 6 ounces of water. Pour that in. Again, I just know where it hits my mug. I use the same mug every time, and give that a stir. Allow all that to melt. And this is really where the experience of working with cacao begins. The moment you begin to chop it, the moment that you pour her into your mug and bring that mindfulness, the aromas really hit you right away, and it just brings everything to this very moment. It really, really is a beautiful experience. So stir that till just everything is melted. Now you may just drink it just like this, but I prefer to blend it up. So cacao can have quite a bit of a thickness to it. So to make it a little creamier, you can throw it in a blender. I use a hand emulsifier. So I'm gonna just do that real quick, but I gotta move over here. So just be really gentle with it, just pulses, so you don't burn yourself. And just do that to taste. So beautiful. And there you go. So I like to just take a few minutes and just kind of hold her in my hands. Just look down and take it in for a minute. Maybe a couple breaths in and out. To just connect to my body, ground myself a little bit. And I always like to ask myself that question of how I am feeling and what I am needing. So I'll quietly ask myself that, and I just allow for a moment my heart to sing. And oftentimes at that point, some intentions kind of come to the surface. I will set my intention, and then I call on the spirit of Mother Cacao, my spirit guides, my ancestors, my higher self, and I ask that they guide me, support, and nourish my intentions today. And then I call on gratitude, the things that I'm really grateful for this moment. It could be the day, it could be a moment that I had with my children. I call on Mother Cacao and thank her for the gifts that she has given me, the space that she's opened up for me to allow me to heal and connect with myself. And I thank her. I ask her to bless the hands that have brought her into mine. And then I honor the elements of earth, fire, air, and water. I take it all in for a minute, and then I take a sip. And that is what I do on an almost daily basis, but anytime I definitely sip with my cacao is how I ground myself. So this is also the fun part. It's gonna develop over time. Once you begin to sip cacao and you create that relationship with yourself, you're gonna find what really, really supports you in that moment. And make it all your own. It becomes this really special ritual, this really special space that you can connect with yourself. So I'm gonna leave the details in the description of how to make the mug, how to make your cacao. So that way you don't have to sit here and be like, how many ounces? I'll leave it in the description below. But holding virtual space for cacao is something I'm really passionate about, and it comes with challenges, but it's absolutely possible. So this is how cacao came into my life. I connected with her in virtual spaces. So I know that they're beautiful and they're really supportive. And I've been kind of mulling over how it's gonna look and what it's gonna feel like to me, and something special, because it's so, so important. So of course, if you join me in a virtual yoga class, my virtual memberships, I invite you to be open to bringing cacao in, because I absolutely do in those spaces. But how can I go deeper is really where I'm at. So I've helped over 10 women to bring cacao into their daily lives. And it's usually they'll come to a cacao ceremony and they're like, I need this in my life. And we begin that process. But I want to go deeper. I want to do more. And I don't know what it looks like yet. I don't know if it's women's cacao circles virtually, if it's cacao courses where we really go on a deep dive with cacao. I'm not sure. So I felt like YouTube was a great place to start, a great place that I can start to really share her first. Let's work with her, and then let's build off of that foundation by deepening our yoga practices, our breath work, our meditation, journaling, and reflection, because working with her allows everything to kind of slow down a little bit, take that little pause, and really ask, your heart, allow your heart to expand and open up and connect with what your needs are. So if you're watching this and you're like, ooh, a virtual cacao circle, or virtual women's circle, or any of those things I mentioned, if they really spark your interest, please leave a comment, let me know. The more that there's interest, I'd love to share that more, maybe in this space, and then move it over into deeper spaces where we can really connect. So letting me know how you feel about that would really be beneficial. And I would really appreciate the support, because this is kind of everything to me. She has been a life-changing experience. I've been able to deepen my connection with myself. I've been able to heal, and I love and know that she can be a support for you in your journey. And just a very, it's a hidden gem that so many are learning about, and I'd love to share it. So that is it for today. Thank you for listening in, and I hope that you enjoyed. So everything about how to make this cup will be in the description, so you can just pop along. So if you do have your own little mug and you want to make it for the first time, the description will show you how. So I hope you all have a fabulous rest of your day, and we'll chat.